He went on. Courtroom and legal twist stories. Judge laughs at teen in court, regrets it when he opens his mouth. He stood there alone, shoulders squared, hands behind his back, head slightly bowed. Not in shame, but in silent defiance. Marcus Fields, 17 years old. No parents in the gallery. No lawyer beside him. Just a plain hoodie, scuffed sneakers, and a file full of assumptions. The courtroom murmured. The bailiff called for order. Judge Hammond glanced at the boy over his glasses, smirking. Another troubled kid from the South Side, he thought. Another name on a docket he wouldn't remember by lunch. But Marcus didn't flinch. He'd been accused of theft, a high-end watch stolen from a boutique downtown. Security footage showed someone with his build.
And he'd been near the store that day.
That was all the prosecution had, and in neighborhoods like Marcus's, sometimes that was enough. He was arrested outside his school. His public defender didn't show. The judge didn't postpone. Instead, Judge Hammond sighed loudly. All right, let's hear from the defendant. Let's try not to waste the court's time. A few people chuckled. Marcus stepped forward.
Come.
Composed. I'd like to represent myself. Another chuckle, louder this time. The judge scoffed. What law school did you graduate from, Mr. Fields? I didn't. Yet. Marcus said. But I know my rights. And I know the law. I've been reading it since I was 13. There was something eerie about the way he said it. Like this wasn't new. Unexpected twist or encounter. The judge leaned back, clearly entertained. All right, Mr. Fields. Floor's yours. Marcus began with a quiet voice, firm and focused. He laid out timelines, pointed out inconsistencies in the store's statement, and requested the surveillance footage be replayed. It was grainy, but Marcus pointed to the timestamp. That's 2:47 p.m. I was in class. Here's a signed attendance sheet. And here's my school's front gate camera footage, synced the same time.
Oh.
He went on. Furthermore, Your Honor, the person in that footage is left-handed. I'm not. He held up his right hand, and a teacher from the gallery nodded. He writes with his right. Now, people weren't laughing. Judge Hammond shifted in his seat. Where did you learn all this? He asked. Marcus looked him in the eye. From watching judges who stopped seeing people and only saw files. The gallery murmured again. You see, what no one knew was that Marcus's older brother had been wrongfully imprisoned 4 years earlier. Same judge. Same courtroom. Marcus had watched that trial like a movie burned into his brain. He spent the next few years studying the law, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. He realized no one was coming to save kids like him. So he learned how to save himself. The judge was silent now. Marcus pulled out a copy of the local law code, highlighted and bookmarked. I also noticed the arrest violated procedural timelines. I wasn't read my rights. There's no warrant signature. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Judge Hammond cleared his throat. The courtroom held its breath. Climactic moral resolution. The judge looked down at the file again. Then at Marcus. Then at the prosecutor. This case should have never reached this court, he muttered. Mr. Fields, I owe you an apology. He looked genuinely shaken. I dismissed you before you spoke. That was my mistake. And it won't happen again. Marcus didn't smile. He just nodded. I didn't come here for apologies, sir. I came to be heard. A beat of silence passed. Then the judge stood. Case dismissed. Charges dropped. He banged the gavel louder than usual. As Marcus walked out, people moved out of his way. Not because they were afraid, but because they were in awe. Sometimes the person you least expect knows more than you can imagine. Marcus wasn't just a boy from the wrong side of town. He was a mirror, held up to a broken system. He didn't come to beg. He came prepared. He didn't demand respect. He earned it. And as for Judge Hammond, that day changed him. He started looking harder, listening more. He later admitted, it took a kid with no lawyer to remind me of the law. because justice isn't always loud. Sometimes, it walks into court wearing a hoodie and carrying truth in its hands. If this story made you think, then share it. Because next time, the kid on trial could be your neighbor, your student, your own child. And what they need most is not pity, but a chance